Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here, coming at you with another trail tip about some primitive fire starting methods that hopefully you're starting to employ, because some of the primitive methods are the most reliable and best methods. I'm talking about flint and steel, in my case quartz. I don't have a source for flint in my area, but I have plenty of quartz, so I use quartz. It works just as good for me. Fire pistons, bow saws, things like that, where you're using like a char cloth or some other material to start an ember to transition to some sort of natural material like dried grass and leaves, so you can transition to some very fine kindling. Sometimes we don't have this kind of material available. Either it simply doesn't exist where we are, or it might be wet like this leaf is. I don't know how well you can see, but this leaf has got water all over it, so that would not be suitable. Maybe this is under the snow cover and stuff like this is not available. We can get twigs like this off of a standing tree, but these kind of things are all gone and we don't have them available. So how do we transition between our ember and something like this? Well, there is something that you might want to put in your fire starting kit, and that's one of these. A towel tablet. This is a tablet that's just a compressed cloth. It's done under very high pressure. It's compressed down to this little tiny, almost like a size of a cough drop, and it's a washcloth. And if you want to see more about it, watch this video up here about what these do. But we're not going to drop this in water. We are actually going to use this to make our bird's nest instead of using natural material, which we may not have. So we're going to start off by unrolling this manually. We're not going to obviously put it in water. We're just going to pull it apart, and we're going to make our bird's nest out of this little towel. These things are great for camping and backpacking and hiking, as well as in your bug out bag and your get home bag, because it is a cloth material. This isn't paper, it's cloth, and it's great for washing your hands to keep them clean, or wiping your backside after dropping a dew, something like that. But you'll notice that when you tear it, look how nice and fibrous that becomes. Look at those really small fibers. So we're going to use that to our advantage in making a bird's nest out of this material. So I'm just going to tear off about a fourth or a fifth of it. And I'm not trying to be neat or dainty about it, because it's going to catch fire eventually. And this is what I'm going to use to make my bird's nest. Now I'm going to try to get as much of this fibrous material as I can, so I'm just going to pull little pieces of it off, and just look at all those tiny little fibers that are going to transition from our ember, hopefully, into fire using this thing. So let's get this as processed as we can. Let's get it down to as many little fibers as possible before we get our ember going. And don't be afraid to overdo it, because you can never have too much of this stuff. Okay, that appears to be about as torn up as I'm going to get it. So now I'm going to fashion a bird's nest out of this right here. And once I get those small fibers going, it should take right off. So there is my impromptu bird's nest. I'm now going to take my flint and steel and set my char cloth right there and see if I can get an ember going. There's one right there. So let's get that set down in there. Whew, that's hot. See if we can't get a fire started with it. And now we have a fire. See how simple that was? Now we can transition to our larger material and not have to worry about making a bird's nest made out of leaves and grass. So this is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. Make sure you put a couple of these towel tablets in whatever fire starting kit you have, because it might come in handy someday.